Yo, what's going on, everybody? What are we
Hello
doing
there.
today? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Hope everyone's having a nice day. We got the second episode of the Bad Batch complete, and now we are moving on to episode 3 this Friday morning, I suppose, Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. Very stoked. How you doing, man? How was your
Good,
weekend?
man. Good. Weekend was good. I didn't get a chance to see. I mean, I saw some of your vids, but didn't get a chance to talk to you about what you thought of the first 2 episodes, just in
They were great.
general.
They were great. The first episode was fun. The second episode, much slower, but you don't always need, fighting and killing for it to be a great episode.
Yeah.
Second episode really focused on character development of Omega and Hunter. I feel like we're really getting a Sylvester Stallone and Grogu type of situation, because let's be real, Hunter is
Fly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
100%, dude. And
looks
it's
like
awesome.
him.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. So it is what it is, which I'm very psyched about because Sly is my favorite. I don't know about favorite actor, but I love all of his movies, and he's like my idol since I was a kid. So
Yeah.
Right off the bat, let's talk about something that a lot of people have been discussing, controversial wise, regarding the canon behind the first episode with Kanan
Yes, sir.
and Depa Billaba that changed according to the comic. So here we are. We're going to bring it up on screen.
Yeah, so we're over here on the direct. I'll just read a little bit of this article here. It says Star Wars retcon addressed by Lucasfilm exec following the Bad Batch premiere. I'm just going to kind of skip down here where it says Pablo Hidalgo shares perspective on Star Wars canon. Lucasfilm Story Group member Pablo Hidalgo recently gave his thoughts on how to view canon, likening it to a history textbook. If you want one way to square this circle, in the history textbook version of events, person X and Y were on planet B when A occurred, is the canon. A fictional expression of it is potentially dramatized and embellished for its medium. Your space mileage may vary. And this is actually interesting. This was in response to a big thread here from Jordan Mason, who is the editor-in-chief of Real Outreach. I know Jordan does a lot of good work online, and he has this really, it's a long thread, but essentially he's talking about how he's sort of echoing some of the thoughts that I believe Pablo is expressing, which is like the different ways you're seeing this play out in different mediums, like the show or like in this comic book here, are not like contradictions to canon as much as they are just different characters remembering things different, or like the story you're being told is coming in just from different folk or whatever, which is a little weird to me. It reminds me a little bit more of, I think, how the Dragon Ball canon is. Like I've watched Danny Geekdom gets so triggered
Danny, where you at?
Whenever people bring up canon in Dragon Ball, because he's like, there is no canon in Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? So it kind of feels like Lucasfilm and Disney and Pablo are sort of taking that route. I'm wondering what you think about this. I definitely have some strong opinions, but I'm wondering what you think.
And I want you to set me straight on this. So essentially, Pablo is saying that you have to that Star Wars canon can be like history books where you can change or alter the story when it changes mediums.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying, is like when we are getting it from the Clone Wars, it's like one version of it from like a history book. And then if you get it from the comic book, it's a different version of it from the history book. Or like, you know how like in history, it's like, oh, the history is always written by the winners. And then like you'll get other versions of it, or like a person will do a take on a historical event and be like, here's actually what happened. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of what they're likening it to, is something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my view of that is, and if I'm understanding what he said correctly, is that when you write a piece of history, let's say you are documenting something of the past that took place, and that should be honored in all mediums, not changing and switching up. Even, minor details should be honored and kept the exact same, such as Depa Billaba's lightsaber being green. It should be green in the show too. The way she dies, this and that, everything should be exactly as we were. I mean, you're introducing the story to us.
Yeah.
Why are you now changing it for what purpose? I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean the one it's like if I can be as charitable as I possibly can, I can like understand that thought process. But
Yeah.
the problem for me is that when Star Wars eliminated the EU and basically said like that's over, that's now Legends, it was a total rebranding. The whole idea behind that was that everything would be canon. Everything. And unless I'm mistaken, certain books that could have happened were canceled. Certain video games that were worked on were canceled because it was figured to be too difficult to tie it into the canon. And so it's like they used to have a pretty tight canon, at least outside of the movies, and now it looks like they're even abandoning that. For me as a fan, like I'm sorry, like I'm not trying again, I'm not trying to be a douche, but I spent $20 on this book. Okay, $20 is not a lot,
Josh,
but you
you're
know,
not a douche for having an opinion,
bro. But I mean, I know, but like I just have to,
the media
you know how.
taught us is that we're a douche if we have
I
an
know.
opinion that
Well, you know, my opinion on this is pretty harsh, man. I just don't buy it. You know, like basically there's multiple things that I don't believe as far as what they're saying, but like this book was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I bought this at, I believe, either at a Star Wars Celebration or at a New York Comic Con or something like that. I was feeling Star Wars. I love Rebels. I wanted to know more about, you know, Kanan. And this book was sweet, man. I felt like I learned a lot of cool stuff about his intro. I learned a lot about his master. There was a lot of cool wisdom there. And you sort of get the setup for his beginning to become a pirate. Now, it's not that all of that is ignored, but it's quite frankly the fact that they just took this baseline story and injected the Bad Batch into it, changed other details about it, and then just acted like you can come out and say like canon is just, you know, this thing or that thing.
it's a
like,
shapeshift. It's a changeling. You can
yeah.
And look, I mean, you know, they're changing not major details, you know, but little things. And I know a lot of people have an issue with it. My view, I personally don't really care, but I think it should be upheld to the same standard as when you create the story. It's like if you're going to create a story, then why are you going to change it later? You know, just keep it the same exact way. You guys obviously sat down. You said, all right, she gets a green one. You know, this is how she dies. This and this changes. That keep it the same. You know, why?
Yeah.
Why are you changing it? Interject another Jedi in there. You know, you've told the story of Kanan and Depa in the comics, so you know, bring us Cal.
Yeah.
Bring us someone else. You know, it's
well, that's
hard.
just it. Like from apparently from the from the interview. Remember, we actually talked about this the week before it aired. It was last week. One of the answers in, I think it was a Screen Rant article or something like that, but the person had literally mentioned Caleb and sort of said that they had went to Dave and said like, could we do this? And Dave said that yes, Caleb Doom was available and that you could do that in that story. Now I want to take it to a sort of another step and like conspiratorial, if you will. Okay. Because this is technically the second time that a new Dave Filoni animated Star Wars project has just clearly looked the other way from other Star Wars canon material. In Clone Wars Season 7, it undoes aspects of the Ahsoka novel. You know what I mean? And it just is what
Patrick.
it is, man.
Hope you're okay, man. Yeah. Sorry, Patrick.
Yeah. No, it's all
sorry,
good.
Josh.
It's so I'm just wondering, like, is this because we know Dave is sort of like a Sith Lord. Like he acts like sort of like coy and like, you know, like everything's like happy, but at the end of the day, like he's very calculating. He's really, really smart with the way he answers things and teases things. He's smart in the way that he treats actors. Like he's a Sith Lord. Like he's very, dare I say, manipulative. And so I'm wondering,
Dave?
Bro.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, bro. If you
let me address this while we.
Yeah.
This all seems nitpicky. Do you know where you are,
bro?
You're at the Star Wars Central fan page to just nitpick at things and to talk Star Wars and to be a nerd.
Ryan?
You're in the wrong spot.
I've changed my mind. You know, your one comment about it being nitpicky has opened my eyes to my flaws, and now I'm changing my stance completely. I hope you're happy.
Let's just
But
not be nerds. This is
I
what
know,
we
right?
do, man. This is what we obsess over little things. This is what nerddom is all about. We enjoy
Look,
this stuff.
I just think here's my thing, and even you said you don't really think it's a big deal, and I respect that. Like I
Well,
respect people
I
saying,
think it's a big deal, but I don't think it's a big deal enough for me to like talk about it or tweet about it. Other than you and me shooting the shit on Earth Day.
sure, yeah, sure, that's fair. And I didn't, to be fair, I didn't really make like videos or whatever about it.
Yeah,
either.
exactly. Yeah.
But it is interesting. Like it's just one of those things where I do think it could be a thing where Dave is sort of trying to separate his own material from the rest of the canon. You know what I mean? Like basically it could be a sort of an underhanded way for him to establish like real Filoni Star Wars and like a Filoni sort of thread, because he's definitely ignoring things. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. He is ignoring things and doing his own stuff. And the more he gets control of like live action stuff in the future, like, we haven't really talked about it, but I felt like some of the stuff in Mando, or rather in Bad Batch, is setting up Clone Wars stuff, like the chain code, talking about, everything in the Empire happening so fast and your money being attached to it. Even Omega to a degree seems like she could tie in perhaps to stuff that's headed in Mando. We know Fennec is coming. So it feels like he is really doing a great job of tying to his own canon stuff and his own head canon, if you will. And I guess I'm just wondering, like, has the story group just been drastically diminished? You know what I mean? Like,
here's what I think. What I think is the story group will make, their stuff for the comics. But then once Dave comes in and he's like, this is what's going to be for animated or live action, which I am in control of.
Yeah.
He sets the tone. So that's why I'm okay with it. Because it's like, okay, you know what? We got the comics and stuff over there. They do their thing, but it's set probably by, it's not, I don't think Dave is writing the comics. He's not.
No.
He's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So he has an idea and a conception of Star Wars and how everything works himself. So when it comes to it, he's going to be like, story group, whatever. I'm going to do my own thing, and it's going to go my own way. So that's how I think of it, which to me is Dave is higher up in the story group, in my opinion.
I agree.
But I could be wrong.
Dude, I agree. And in my opinion, I absolutely agree. I guess I'm just wondering, like, do you think there's any chance that he's doing it intentionally? Because here's the thing, like, I can see injecting Bad Batch into this, but bro, you're going to tell me he doesn't know what the lightsaber color is? Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a little hard. It's hard for me to believe that someone that pays such attention to detail, is such a master storyteller, is going to forget about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like he might be being like, this is what really happened, essentially.
It's possible, man. But you know what? At the end of the day, if he wants to make it blue, I mean, here's the thing. It's about a character I don't care as much about. That's why I'm so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's fair.
That's how I feel about Solo. It was like, Han Solo's great. He's cool, but he's not Luke to me. So whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
but I mean,
if someone says something to your family, you're going to take it more seriously than if someone says something to a friend of a friend, that you met a few times.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I was just thinking of too, and again, this is sort of nitpicky, but remember in Rebels when Kanan is very distrusting of the clones?
Yeah.
Remember that? And he's like really distrusting of the clones, and it's just like if like the Bad Batch being injected into that opening just makes that moment a little more weird. In Rebels, when I had read just the comic, I was like, that makes total sense. He witnessed Order 66, but instead now it's like he witnessed Order 66, but also there was this group of clones that was trying to help him, and it was all confusing, and all that. So again, it's not the biggest deal, but I think the reason I'm getting so burnt by it is that we could have had way more video games. If you're going to play it fast and loose with the canon, then do it and have fun. It's kind of like what you and I were talking about with Obi-Wan, right? With the Kenobi show, I don't care if they break, the lore of him not having a meeting with him in so long. I want to see that fight. But I feel where you're coming from, where you're like, oh man, that really changes that moment. Therefore, it changes sort of even my whole value proposition on why I like this character and why I like these things. The more you tinker with that sort of stuff, like I personally like. I think this would have been a bigger deal had there not been so many other things that people could be upset about when it comes to Star Wars. You know what I mean? So
It's possible. I see your view. I'm just not as rattled by it, perhaps.
yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. It's fair.
It's like, eh,
Yeah, I'm just looking for clarity, and I
I'm
found
just, when the Kenobi show comes out, you can expect every, nerd theory episode. I'm gonna be like
fired up.
heightened, like, well, yeah. If they change anything, because
Yeah,
there's nothing more I know in Star Wars than the first 6 movies.
true. Very true. Yeah,
At the heart of it, and that's what George Lucas saw too. He only really cares about the first 6 movies, the Clone Wars. That's it. Nothing else
yeah,
matters.
yeah. That's totally fair.
It's fun. The other stuff's fun, but it's not as important to me. It's not as relevant for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
definitely don't think Dave is a part of the story group, though.
I don't think so.
Yeah, definitely don't think that's
I don't think so,
a
dude.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave is part of the story group. He and Pablo were on the team that was planning episode 8 and 9 in May. I think he was a consultant.
Yeah, I'm sure they ask him all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? He's the encyclopedia, but Pablo sort of fancies himself the encyclopedia too. You know what I mean? So, you know what? To touch on that though a little bit, here we go again. I'll go a little bit more on my irritations. When you juxtapose that change to the comic being done in the show with the fact that like the Rise of Skywalker comic keeps trying to like explain Rise of Skywalker. Like basically like on the one hand you have Marvel Comics or Star Wars comics trying to literally explain a Swiss cheese of a plot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you have other Star Wars in the animated side of things like totally changing and discounting things from that very same team. Like that was Matt Martin then. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just a mixed bag for me. It's just one more thing for me to be like, oh man. You know what I mean? It didn't feel good. But that being said, I do think Bad Batch is awesome, and I even love
great.
the second episode. I mean, you were saying it's kind of a little bit of a slower one. I agree with you. But there's just something about that,
It built,
again,
dude. It built on
yeah.
that character. It was great.
and it builds to him, meeting the deserter, and I think that is fantastic. And the only thing I was wishing in that episode was that Crosshair showed up. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that would have pushed it over for me was Crosshair somehow showing up, sniping some people in the face.
Too soon.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let me ask you this: do you think that when he says that Rex passed through here the day before, do you think that we're going to see that in live action? That scene with Rex?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, that'd be really cool, though.
Well, because he would be with Ahsoka, right? Because
Not necessarily, and that's the topic of today's nerd theory. So, I think I would love to think Rex and Ahsoka are together, but I think it makes it more interesting if she's not with him. Because when you put Ahsoka into this story, and judging by Lucasfilm's sort of new rules that if you throw a Jedi or Force user in the mix, no one's going to give a crap about anybody else.
Sure.
Which I disagree with. I mean, I understand their point of view, but I think it only enhances the story because now you got so many of your. It's like, I don't know. Do you want to be in a room with one little puppy or 2 puppies? It's like, wow, I love both of them. Holy crap, it's double the fun. Right? It just makes it more interesting, and it can really expand on the story. But that being said, I think Ahsoka not being here makes it more of a compelling thought. That where is she? What is she doing? Who is she with? Who has she gone off with? And then we can continue that story in the Ahsoka show, perhaps.
Yeah. I guess the only reason I think that Ahsoka would be there is because the last we see them, they are together at like right around this time would have been when they crashed and buried all the rest of the clones, and so it might make sense if she was still trying to figure out what was going on, that she would be riding with Rex. You know what I mean? And then they would potentially pass through and there were rumors that we will see Rex in the Ahsoka show. And so it's possible we could see, we still don't know what the timeline for that show is, but it even if it's just flashbacks, we could see that scene in live action with like Rex kind of coming in and doing that. I just felt like it was too it's too crazy to say Rex came through here just yesterday, and that just makes fans want to see that and see what was going on. You know what I mean? And what was going on with that? Like, why would you say that? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe he'll meet up with them in Bad Batch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So? Yeah, dude. I mean, we already saw Rex in the trailer, so.
True. Yeah. So at that, so if he's in, so I will agree with you with this then. If he's in Bad Batch, I would prefer to see him without Ahsoka. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe at that point they did part ways or whatever.
Probably. Did you get a copy of Heart of the Jedi before it was dropped from Amazon? No. Why was it dropped? Did you hear about this?
No. I know
it's an old book, dude.
It's an old one? Huh.
Isn't it? Hold up.
I don't know.
Heart of the Jedi. That's a really old one, isn't it?
I have no idea why it would be dropped. I don't know.
Yeah, that's old as hell, dude. It was released in 93.
Oh, well then why does it matter? Was it dropped in Amazon? Because, oh, you know what else I want to ask you about? We didn't even get to talk about this. How did you feel about May the 4th?
What do you mean?
I remember we had talked the day before, and I was like, I'm hearing some crazy things are coming, bro.
Oh yeah,
make a single announcement, bro. There were more leaked photos and stories on May the 4th than there actually were Star Wars announcements.
There was nothing. They didn't announce anything. Dude, I was expecting like freaking, what was it called? DC Fandom?
Yeah. Well, plus the fact that Marvel, remember we were talking about how Marvel dropped that Go Back to the Theater trailer on Monday, and it was freaking epic. Did millions of views, like was trending #1. People were talking about it, and then they did Loki. While you and I were doing our show, they did the little Loki thing. Dude, Loki was trending into the morning, and Star Wars wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, what is happening?
I don't
know
what the hell, bro. They dropped Marvel stuff basically for May 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Bad Batch on May 4th, so.
Dude, and Bad Batch was great, but it's not. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's Star Wars Day. You know what I mean? And also, for me, I felt like the content on Disney Plus, you know, oh man, everybody's like, Josh is so grumpy. Look, the content on Disney Plus, man, it wasn't doing it for me. Like, Biomes. Did you watch Biomes? Did you know what it is?
No, I didn't see it. I saw it on there. I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it.
It's literally like drone shots. It's like drone shots of Star Wars shit. You know what I mean? Like it's literally just drone shots on Star Wars planets.
Oh, is it cool?
No, I mean it's cool for what it is.
Wait. Like CG?
No, like they add CG in, but it's like drone shots, I assume, of like actual places on the planet, and then they just put like a little CG. There's like some atmospheric music or whatever, but like I flipped it on because it comes up recommended after you watch Bad Batch, right? You're like, oh, it's May the 4th. This is awesome. Biomes comes up. I'm like, this is dope. Let's check out Biomes. Dude, it's drone shots, bro. Like, I was like, what is this? Like, this isn't anything. And then I watched the Maggie Simpson thing.
They're adding some ambience kind of thing. You just throw it on the back.
Guess, how long is it? You can do a screensaver. You can watch a Star Wars screensaver on YouTube or whatever. I don't know. I think they're like 18 minutes a piece. I was just like, this is really weird, dude. Like, this is just, it felt like a really weird May the 4th to me. You know what I mean?
I was expecting to get like, okay, Jedi Fallen Order 2, new gameplay trailer, or like a tease, or I mean, there wasn't really much. We got like some new figures.
There was,
and by the way, dude,
some cool stuff,
some rep at Hasbro keeps sending me the link of new action figures that come out like every week, and they're like asking me to like share it on my social media. I'm like, send me the freaking action figures, and then I'll share it. Like,
and also send me some money. Like, come on now.
No, like, keep your money. Just send me the freaking toys. Like, I want them. They're cool. You know?
Yeah.
But what the hell? Like,
yeah, I don't know, man.
I see them sending it to other people. I'm like, oh, let me just advertise for you. Sure, yeah. Like, nah, send me the freaking toys, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's, again, I'm not trying to be a butthole here, but like, as a Star Wars fan, like, I was just kind of let down last week, man. I was like, what's going on? Like, there's a lot to love. Bad Batch is awesome, but like, let's be real. Like, Bad Batch is a spin-off animated show. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. That's cool, but that's not the hype train. That's not how you get people going.
Josh, I feel like it's a continuation of Order 66, a continuation of Clone Wars, but from a cooler perspective, a perspective that is, I would say, almost third person.
That's fair. Look, you know, I like
it's not the clones.
Yeah.
It's not the Jedi. It's not the Empire. It's like it's the Bad Batch. It's the clones who are
and there's a lot
really
of cool.
Clones.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on in the show, but frankly, like, it's still, I don't think it's hitting for like normie Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? Like, I think people like you and I, totally. Like, that's our stuff.
We're not being
you know what I mean?
We're just speaking our mind. We wanted more. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm over it, and maybe I am being a butt. I don't, you know, whatever. I still think it was a super big letdown. Let me just say this. I know for a fact, and I know the pandy happened, and I know things are super delayed, but Kevin Feige literally adjusts the production and shooting schedule of their films so that he has stuff ready for Hall H at Comic-Con, because he understands that is a mecca for the hardcore nerds that make up the main driving force of that IP. Like, he just understands it. Like, I'm sorry, I feel less and less confident that Star Wars and Kathy and those people over there are handling this well. I mean, I'd love even an explanation. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm alone, and I know everybody's trying to, you know, be positive and be happy about Bad Batch, and that's great. I think we should be, but it's also like, it feels weird, man. It just feels weird. No official announcement other than a thing on the page that basically said, go watch Bad Batch and here's a bunch of places where you can buy merch. I don't know, man. That doesn't feel like the same love that I felt just a day before from a studio that didn't have the Marvel Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't Marvel Day. The next day was Star Wars Day. And it just didn't slap the way it should have. And I, as a fan, I think it's okay for me to be like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, just give me a little bit more. You know what I mean? Right. Or maybe they don't want me to be
I'm just greedy. Maybe I'm just a greedy Star Wars fan. You know,
dude,
I'm sorry if your product's so good that I want more of it. Like,
yeah. And I also want them to matter when I buy them. You know what I mean? Ah!
Right.
Anyway. It was a canceled Star Wars book that somebody made a bootleg copy of before it sold on Amazon.
Canceled Star Wars.
Okay. That's interesting.
Oh, really?
That's kind of interesting.
I haven't read that book, and I was 3 years old when it came out. I haven't read it, though.
Yeah. Let me see if there's anything else going on in the Star Wars world. There's definitely a lot of leaked photos. Have you seen any of the leaked Andor set photos?
I have.
They look pretty nice, dude.
They look very crisp, yeah.
Yeah. Could
I haven't
be
shown them anymore. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so...
Yeah. Could be... Yeah, it could be a fun sort of sleeper hit of a show.
Of the Jedi was a canceled 90. Dude, I think Andor's going to be amazing. It's going to cover Vader, like, during the time of the Empire. Come on!
Wow. Come on.
Like, it was a canned 90s EU book that made its way back and was selling on Amazon, outperforming anything that Disney is putting out. Then they canned it.
What? No way. It was outperforming anything Disney was doing?
How do you have those numbers?
He's probably saying, like, on Amazon. Like, they have probably listing of sales or whatever on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, what's really popping on... I mean, I guess that Thrawn book just came out. That's a little rough.
We need more normie Star Wars fans to watch the animated stuff. Disney instead should promote it more. There's plenty. What do you think we're doing, bro? We're promoting the crap out of Star Wars nonstop because we love it. And in a weird way, this is our job.
Yes. Yes.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And it's pretty clutch. And I also made a cool Darth Vader TikTok today. So everybody should go check out my TikTok.
Oh, what's your TikTok? Shout it out.
I think it's the Den of Nerds. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Disney decided that they aren't going to release anything major on Star Wars Day because they will hold everything major for D23.
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Yeah, that's so stupid. Like, just frankly, like, and the thing is, you might be right. That person might be right. But, like, I feel like saying, like, well, then what is May the 4th then? Why did you squeeze out weird announcements about Taika's movie last year before we knew anything about the coming films, but this year you're going to back off completely? Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me. But I did like the show, though. What do you think is going to happen in episode 3?
I think that they're gonna run off somewhere. Where that's gonna be is probably to find Rex.
So you think we're going Rex
they're
already?
a day apart from each other.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm gonna do 2. It's like that rich.
It's a British way to do it.
Those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's like 3.
Yeah, no, that would be cool, man. I would love to see them meet up with like a young Boba or something. You know what I mean? Just see what's going on with that kid, because he's also a clone, and
he's
what
a little
if
kid right now, though.
Yeah, so's Omega, though. You know what I mean? Like, what if there's something between not them? Like, I think they're probably both unaltered. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's aging rapidly. So maybe there could be like a connection there where they find Boba to see if he had any insight into what that was like or something like that.
Yeah, and okay, everyone, I keep seeing this theory out there. A lot of fans are throwing around. Vader hired Boba Fett because he reminds him of Rex. Dude, Vader is doing everything in his life to disassociate himself from Anakin Skywalker. You really think he's going to want to bring back Anakin Skywalker's like right-hand man?
Mm-mm.
No.
No
he
way.
hates Anakin. He hates the Jedi. That name no longer has any meaning to me. It's like, dude, like we've seen it in the books, legends, canon. Vader and Anakin are 2 entirely separate people. The only thing that Vader is still connected to is Padme. That's it. That's
and
all.
Eventually his son, but
it takes how many decades?
Yeah, it takes a long time. Yeah,
by the way, I'm getting a little bit of an echo.
My bad.
From like my voice into you.
It's probably my headphones. No, it's probably my headphones. Oh wait, let me double check here. Yeah, I think it's my headphones. They're just coming through a little loud. You know what else I was thinking too? I don't know if you've seen this theory or maybe you've had this theory, but I think Crosshair might become the model for the Death Troopers moving forward.
We're being too harsh, Josh.
Huh?
We're being too harsh. We got an entire 1 hour long show on Star Wars Day.
Well, then I retract everything I just said.
I retract everything I said, and
Pablo's right as always.
Yeah. What else you got? Give me more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Rex on his way to look for a way to turn off the inhibitor chip. Maybe Bad Batch and Rex know something, and we'll meet up somewhere like that. Yeah, that was my theory in the recent video. That'd think that maybe the whole plot could be that Rex is trying to find a way to shut off the inhibitor chip, or basically like execute order 33, like reverse the order. You know, like
yeah. Which could come into saving Crosshair eventually, maybe. But I
think Crosshair is gonna die.
I think he's the model for the Death Troopers, dude. Because if you think about it, his mutation is what? Just that he's super freaking accurate. You know what I mean? And he also, like, despite being... What's up? Yeah, exactly. Well, also, despite being a clone, he's still susceptible to Order 66 and inhibitor chips, right? True. And in the Thrawn book, we learned that the Death Troopers are clones. Like, when they take off their thing, they're clones. So they look like Boba and Jango.
Where'd you hear this?
It's in the Thrawn book. I think it's the second Thrawn
what the heck?
book.
They're like...
Because they have to do a mission with...
clones? Clones are what, like 5'10"?
Mm-hmm.
5'11"?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're like taller, mutated.
Like 6'7" freaking...
Yeah. I forget what book it is. They have to try to blend in. And so so they take their armor off, and they look like clones. Even the Emperor, I think even the Emperor's guards, the red guards.
What if they clone Crosshair?
That's what I'm saying. Because he's like a really legit version of
That's kind of dope.
Yeah, that would be sick, dude.
That's kind of
like that.
Question for fellas. For the Obi-Wan show, do you think it's possible we could see Vader versus Maul? Just a theory. No. Sadly.
Yeah, I don't think so. Be kind of fun though.
Because that wouldn't end well. I mean,
Yeah, I mean he's legit afraid of Vader.
any Omega theories from you two? Yeah, I think she's gonna go absolutely ballistic. She's gonna go crazy, and she's gonna be like Phoenix from X-Men.
Oh, I like that. Do you think there's any chance that she's playing them? That she's
No.
You don't think so? Because there's some theories out there about that.
No, I just think she's a ticking time bomb. I think she might execute some order of her own that nobody knows about, and she's just gonna like unleash all of this potential and power that no one's seen before. I think she's force sensitive. I think she's going to be probably. Well, I don't think, but it's a theory. It would be cool. She just goes rogue, goes insane.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know if they've ever done that before, where they set up like a loving, kind of friendly character and then turn them. Like Vader was already Vader, and then we show you Anakin, right? So I don't know if there's ever been a character quite like that, which is something I've wanted.
But if I'm gonna be, I think she's probably just a regular girl.
But she knows something about Crosshair though, because she like can sense in that one scene
the future.
Yeah, so she's
Bad
definitely
Batch will
got something.
explain why we don't see Kamino ever again, and Pershing being a imp cloner. Nala Se made the first Jedi clone, and Palpatine destroys Kamino before he realizes it.
Yeah, that would be dope.
I
But
think
not
there
like
might be an
destroys
uprising.
Kamino, but like just wipes out the Kaminoans and replaces them with humans, probably.
Mando goes to planet to make a trade with Maz, and happens to pull out a lightsaber that belongs to a Waking. Oh, Anakin. Which explains how. I see. Don't think so.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't
Omega is going to be that overpowered. Jedi Brie lost it. What?
There's rumors that Brie Larson's going to play a OP Jedi or something, but it's just internet troll rumors. I don't think it's true.
Right. Total new question, but where's Vader in the show? Okay, so Vader is... This would be pretty much the Vader comics that came out in 2017, issue 1 and 2. That's probably where Vader's at right now.
So he's like getting his...
So he is... He's probably out on a mission right now. If they're going to the comics, he's probably going to fight Kirak and Fila.
That part was dope.
Yeah.
I hope the show doesn't just ignore it.
You both rock. I look forward to this every Monday. Thanks, man. Do you think the mystery of Fulcrum will begin to appear? Yeah, I think we'll start to get some tidbits of character. Because it just, look, it makes it more interesting, and it ties it into the next shows that come out.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Do you guys have any advice on starting a lore Star Wars channel? You probably get this a million times. I do get this a million times, but yeah, my advice is to make content around subjects and topics that you want to make content around, and to enjoy the process. Don't attach it to money.
Yes.
And just have fun,
I
That's
agree.
it.
Because
Josh,
there's no guarantee. No, I agree with that so hard, because there's no guarantee that you'll have success, but there is a guarantee that you're going to spend a lot of time. So just make it something you love and just try to enjoy the process. Learn, try to grow. But look, like YouTube is so rough. And to be honest with you, you probably don't even really want to be a YouTuber. Like you probably think you do, but I don't know if you do. Just being real.
Nah, you do. It's a sick life, dude. It's dope. But you just,
it's a cool life,
skin.
but
you gotta have real thick skin.
Yeah, there's weird parts of it that I think people from the
yeah.
outside in maybe don't necessarily get. Like one of the things that I think is weird about it is, especially if you're not, like if you're mid-range or a smaller YouTuber, you have to just keep making content, and you have to try to do what works in the algorithm, which is like get it out as fast as possible. You know what I mean? And put the right content. Like you gotta know, like basically like if there's a big thing in your vertical, you gotta be there. You know what I mean? You gotta make content about it. You gotta be on the trend, and that can get a little tiresome. You know what I mean? Like, did you know I missed the watch party for Bad Batch? I woke up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, you told me.
and missed the watch party.
Slept.
That was horrible.
1K likes. What the hell is this? There's 3,500 of you. Let's get those likes up.
There was probably more, and then they got all
boy.
grumpy about me complaining. Sorry, guys.
Is it possible that the trait Omega's trait is intuition? That makes sense. Yeah, but that's a Jedi power.
Yeah, I agree.
It's got Jedi reflexes. Could we possibly see any Inquisitors? Yes.
Ooh.
This is that time.
That would be dope, dude. Seeing the Inquisitori start to be built.
If Mace comes back and he has his lightsaber, would he also have Palpatine's lightsaber? Also, no, I don't think so.
Dude,
I mean, you
come
could
on,
find it.
That'd be sick. That'd be kind of cool. What if he only had Palpatine's lightsaber? Like his was destroyed or something? Or he had a double blade that was like purple and red? Come on now.
Omega's gonna be that over.
People are pulling for that Brie Larson thing.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. Just don't. I mean, making her more powerful than making anybody more powerful than Anakin is
wrong.
He's the chosen one. He's the most powerful. He's supposed to be the most powerful being, at least at his potential in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Did
Although
see
I
his
do think
potential?
they need to
No.
move. I do think they need to move past that and have more powerful characters, but they need to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't just like do it and expect us to be like, okay, you know.
Right. Yeah.
The RTS Star Wars games. I've heard Empire at War is amazing, but I've never gotten
Spent
into it.
many hours on it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
nice, cool.
It's Age of Empires of Star Wars.
Yeah, I did. Sounds great. Sounds cool to me. I was playing Shadows of the Empire last Monday. Yeah, dude, it was fun, but I couldn't even get past the first level, dude.
Ouch.
I know. I was like, oh.
By the way,
I don't game.
Yeah, on my gaming channel, I'm going to play Battlefront 2, 2005. I think parts 5 or 6. We're going to continue the mission there, and then also Empire at War.
Yeah.
I have it on good authority that Omega parents are going to be revealed by the filthy junk traders who saw. So she's Rey now?
That's what people have been saying. That people are like upset. I think
You're
she's
kidding.
totally different than Rey.
She's not Rey.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
Rey isn't even born yet.
No, like they mean she's just another like Mary Sue, basically.
Oh, I don't have reason to believe that yet.
Yeah, she's first of all she's yeah. I don't want to necessarily go down that road, but it's very different than Rey.
Love you too, man. Different. What do you guys think happens to Omega? Is she force sensitive? Does she survive? I think she survives. I think she's force sensitive. She could possibly end up helping Luke. With Grogu.
Yeah, she absolutely could. Yeah. I will say, like, it would seem weird that for them to create a character like this and then just kill her off. You know, like that would be a little weird.
I think they'll kill off most of the Bad Batch, but
yeah, me too.
I mean, when Vader gets a hand of everybody, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Squad had a clone Jedi child that Skirata raised later on. Omega could have a connection to this legend story somehow.
That'd be cool.
How do you propose they do that, Albro? Thanks for the message, buddy. If Omega is force sensitive, do you think the main stone on her headwear has a kyber crystal hidden? Nah. Don't think. I think it's just jewelry. Unless they bring Starkiller in. He's going. Well, no. Look, Starkiller as Vader, as George has said, was essentially supposed to be what Luke would have been had Vader trained Luke.
Which is sick.
Yeah. Personally, I think Dave Filoni makes the decision to connect Omega to Rey in any way. I trust him to do it well and to make it make sense. If he thinks it's important, I'll go with it. Okay.
But why would she be connected to Rey? Like, I just don't even get that at all. Like, Rey is a progeny of a fake cloned Palpatine. Like, what does that have to do with, you know what I mean? Like, please stop retconning that. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need Omega to be connected to it.
Yeah, just, make it its own thing. What if Omega is a clone of the Duchess on the Duchess and Obi-Wan kid? Nah. She's a Django, dude. It's a mutated gene that turned into a girl. You think Echo ever finds out about Five's fate?
That's interesting. He could. Because 5 goes crazy, right? Like he has the inhibitor shit go off early, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or am I misremembering that? Is that a different one of them?
No, but he essentially knew that Order 66 was happening.
Yeah.
So he knew it before everybody did.
Yeah.
And he was trying to tell them and warn them, but he died. They shot him.
Dang. Empire Man.
Rebels is fine.
I like Rebels a lot.
Yeah, it's okay. It's got some really nice moments. A lot of it was a little slow, but
yeah, there's some
overall
definitely filler stuff, and I do feel like these newer shows, and I'm holding out hope that Bad Batch is going to carry this pace throughout the whole 16 episodes because it feels good, man. Like even that last episode, even though it was slower, it had a great pace. It still pops off with some action. It has meaningful elements, and it moves us forward. So as long as they keep going like with that way, I'm good.
Right. And no, to some people's questions, is there's no nerd council, there's no Zoom calls tonight. Josh and I are just chopping it up, doing our thing like old time. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, man.
What do you think Maul thought would happen to Dooku and Grievous after the Clone Wars because he knew Anakin was the next apprentice?
You know, that's interesting. I don't know if he really ever considered that, but
he didn't know until the end of Clone Wars. So
yeah, it is interesting though. He did know of them because there's the moment in that one comic where they're all together and then Talzin possesses Dooku. Remember?
I think the answer to that question, in my opinion, is that Maul knew that all of them were just a pawn to get Anakin.
He certainly knows that by the end. That's what he's saying to her Ahsoka in season 7 of Clone Wars. He's basically like he's like figuring it out, and he's like brilliant, you know, like he just realizes that he just used everybody.
I agree, and that's what Palpatine does. He just uses people, discards of them when he's done, and that's it. He doesn't care.
Yep. Pretty crazy.
Anything else you want to touch on, bro?
Let's see here. I mean, there's nothing big going on. Let's see here. Just take one more peruse here. Yeah, man, I don't, I gotta be honest, I don't really see much else. I mean, there was, some interesting stuff about, Gina Carano and how she is still being promoted by Disney for an Emmy. Despite being fired. I've talked a little bit about that on some streams, and there's rumors. Yeah, so basically, like, you know, they put out those for your consideration, like, posters and promotion. It's 2 members of the Academy, and it's to try to get them to vote for your stuff, right? And so Disney put out one of those posters for The Mandalorian, and right front and center is, you know, sort of promoting, you know, Gina Carano. And tonight, actually, right about now, she's going to be on that Bear Grylls program, which originally was pulled from Disney Plus, but now is going to be on Disney Plus. Yeah. And so there's some sort of talk of, is it possible Disney's trying to bridge the gap with Gina and, you know, perhaps even bring her back or something like that? And
no, I don't think so. I think they just care about views.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it would be a good idea for them to bring her back, but it would...
Absolutely, yeah, I think so too. But I think, you know, they're like, we've already shot this thing. Let's just release it and get the views out of it, and that's it. I mean,
yeah. It just seems odd that they would leave her on that poster like that. It almost seems like it was their, maybe potentially in the PR sense, their first sort of foray into feeling out the waters of, you know, bridging that relationship again and just seeing how people would react. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty out on the loop on that. I just know that show is coming. That episode is going to be airing. It's great. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't watch that program, but I've heard it's really good or whatever. And
I used to watch Bear when I was a kid, and I used to watch a show called Survivor Man all the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan of those kind of shows where you're just out in the wilderness and Rambo style, you know, learn how to survive.
Man, why not?
They're very entertaining. Yeah, they're very real and good. Yeah, so yeah, who knows, dude?
Yeah, I mean, other than that, there's not much to really get into. I mean, another episode of Bad Batch this week. A lot of rumors out there, but no real solid pieces of news. I think we can just kind of hope that maybe there at least is a plan behind the scenes, and some of these little things that are bothering me are just one nerd getting too upset, and hopefully not the sign of things happening. You know what I mean?
That's what we do. That's what we do. We are here for that. We are not here to say, "Hey, Star Wars is a cool show. Let's talk." No, we're here to get into the nitty-gritties. You know, this is stuff we're Star Wars nerds. I mean, go watch the movie Fanboys. If you've ever stepped into a comic shop and you just eavesdrop on the conversations in there, this is just normal stuff. So anyone who thinks that, you know, we're nitpicking or whatever is probably just a regular fan, and that's great. But, you know, we are diehard fans. This is very important stuff to us, and it's also our job, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You know, one last thing I want to know from you for sure, though. What do you think of the real lightsaber? They had that announced on May the 4th. It was probably the only real cool thing that Disney announced, was that's a real thing. You're going to be able to use them on the cruiser in 2022.
The lightsaber?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I think it's an amazing product. I think it's super, super dope. It's something that we've always wanted. I just think they need to perfect it and tweak it a little bit and make it look a little more realistic. Mainly the thing that caught me off was the hilt. It's just too big.
It's really bulky. Yeah. Maybe bulky, she's just tiny, but it is. I agree with you. That's one of the first things I noticed was, wow, I think the design really needed a big bulky hilt, and that's not exactly what you're looking for, especially when you want Palpatine's. If you want Palpatine's saber, right. I mean that's a tight little boy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
so it'll just get better and better in time. And I think the next thing on this will probably be a hologram.
Dude. Yeah.
So you got the hilt, and then there's just a hologram, and it can pass through stuff. That's the next level.
Well, that's kind of what I'm wondering with these sabers is like, what is the structural integrity? Because like I noticed in some of the photographs for the cruiser in your room, they're gonna have like little droids that are gonna work. Like you put a headset on and it's like a VR thing, and you can actually use your saber to block, you know, lightsaber bolts. And man, like if that becomes a thing that gets interactive in like rides and stuff, like that's pretty next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah,
can I bang like with the homies with it? You know what I mean? Like what's that? Is it gonna like, you know?
Can you bang the homies with it? What?
I would love to bang. I'm trying to see if I can bang the homies with it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Can I bang the homies or not? Jeez.
Don't moment it on that theory. Hey, what am I talking about?
What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Once again, you proved. If you'll excuse me.
Nice, dude. Nice.
All right. Well, not much else to talk about. We hope you guys, Josh, are we missing anything? Oh, we've covered everything.
So. Yeah, I think we covered everything. I know we're doing a shorter one tonight, and it's a little bit because I'm feeling under the weather too. So, you know, I do apologize to everybody, but I'm not.
It's all Josh's fault. Okay.
Everybody? Yeah, pretty much. Sorry.
So we're ending early, and I know that we probably shouldn't
have done that. It's not.
But at the end of the day, it's just what we got to do tonight. So please hit like, get this up to 3,000 likes, 3,500 of you here. Go over to my Theories Arcade channel, where I'm going to be streaming in probably 20 minutes. And go over to Josh's channel, The Den of Nerds. Go subscribe, show your boy some love. And are you going to be on Friday morning, I suppose?
Yes, I will. I will be properly rested, and I'll be doing a watch party this time for sure. Yes.
Okay, so maybe we can link up.
Yeah, for sure. If anything, like I'll be live, you'll be live. We can just do a Discord call. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah. Just get our voices in there, and
sounds good.
Okay, guys, I think that's it. Highlight the last few super chats here. Theory, any updates on when your sabers will drop? No, there's a hold on that. It takes a lot of time designing everything and getting. Whoa. Dude, he sent this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times.
With a $5 super chat?
You pick a more fun cameo for Batch. Quinlan Mace. Yeah, unless it glitched out. What the freak, dude? That's
Should we
crazy.
pick a different version for each 8 times? I'm gonna go
okay.
Quinlan first,
All right,
then
all right,
Mace,
so I'm gonna
Mace,
go
Mace.
Quinlan. I'm gonna go Mace, Quinlan, Mace, Quinlan, Mace, Quinlan, Mace.
And then my
But,
last 2 are gonna be why not both?
In all seriousness, yeah, I think Quinlan is a character that we really need to see.
Yeah.
And we got to see him in The Phantom Menace. For those of you who have not seen that, chat. For those of you who know, let everyone else in the chat know where that little Easter egg is. Tatooine. So, thank you, everybody. We'll catch you later. Stop sending super chats because we want to go. And now you all get very upset.
Banging the homies.
Let's end it on that.
Amen.
What?
Love you guys. We'll see you later. Hit like. Catch me on Spotify and catch me outside and my website. We love you.
Peace out.